It's World Series time. I'm so gosh darn excited. When things are all packed up, my car engine's ignited. No degenerates around. Professionals abound. It's a true competition. I don't want to mess around. Everyone knows that this time is special. No one can tell you why. Good boy, he got shit-faced and pissed himself. Flax in the crowd, he got kicked out for raising hell. Russ Hamilton is for CDs, his band is World Series home. Man, I can't wait to go. This shit are always great. Courageous men wearing wigs in the ladies' game. I wonder if Carter Gill is allowed to play World Series home. Man, I can't wait to go. Man, I can't wait to go. Such a blast. The days go by so fast. Well, there goes Tatty Tats. Everybody's neck goes spastic. What's up, Poker Cat? You look very packtastic. The Amazon's so lively. I'm looking out for Ivy. If you stick me in the main, I'll sell some pieces. Someone buy me. Everyone knows that this time is special. No one can tell you why. Let's go to the moon and suicide super satellites. Sell some jars in the hall by the bathroom lines. Kessler's vouchers, $3 he can eat tonight. World Series home. Man, I can't wait to go.
What's up, guys? How you doing, Sherry?
Good afternoon from Atlanta. I'm doing well. How about you?
Oh, I was going to ask you that. That's cool. I'm doing great this morning. Had like my first kind of normal WSOP day. Played quite a few hours, and sadly, normal walk away with no cash.
Well, I'm sorry
But
to hear that. But
yeah, it was a good day, and then had dinner with a friend of mine. That's what it's all about, right? Like, you know, obviously the cash is the main kind of thing, but like you can't really replace the experiences and hanging out with friends and
renewing
things like
those
that.
friendships, right?
Yeah, it was great. There's friends that you only get to see here, and so we were able to do that. So
Awesome.
yesterday.
Well, you'll have to forgive me. I'm getting ready for a barbecue. So I am pretending I'm in the business that you are, and I am cutting bell peppers right now.
Oh, great. Well, actually, you do know that my main business, I do like technology stuff and that kind of thing. So yeah, but I do do the food thing a little bit too. So let's go ahead and get to the update for today. Um, the 25K six-handed, man. My guy Chance Corneth was denied his third bracelet by Alexander Volomir.
Yep.
Sadly, Chance is just an absolute killer. I love his thinking on things, and that's kind of the neat thing about the World Series is, getting opportunities to see people, kind of like hear how people think things through and talk through different hands or things like that. Like, don't go around telling your bad beats, but you know, it's kind of fun. I don't know. It's more like I've had opportunities to hear how other people, think through a hand or things like that.
Well,
So
and it always helps, right? Because sometimes we're only looking at a hand one way, and there's another way to look at it.
yeah, and I would say like really resist, especially if you're like, well, I don't know, if you're a new poker player, especially like really resist the temptation to ask that question, and that kind of thing. Like, how should this have been played, or did I do this right? Like, I mean, that's okay, but like if you're telling a bad beat story, nobody wants to hear
Okay,
it.
if you are, let me be clear of what he's trying to say. If you are at a table and you don't know anybody at that table, including me, we do not want to hear your bad beat story. Thank you.
100%. So yeah, Sean Davis bagged just under 2.5 million in the Mystery Millions Day 1B. There's going to be 146 players left from yesterday. We'll join with the 304 remaining from the day before. I'm sorry, 304 remaining from yesterday. No, I have that back.
Yeah.
146
There you
players
go.
left from yesterday. We'll join with the 304 remaining from the day before.
Right.
And then they will connect with today's 1C and 1D players for day 2 on Sunday.
And I just need to give a little shout out to Deborah Hinton, who had she was in the top 10 chip stacks at the end of day 1B with 1.653 million. So a little shout out to Deborah Hinton. Good luck on Sunday.
Yeah. And then event number 4, Scott Wilson will lead the final 31 players. That's the Tournament of Champions. I was actually sitting next to a lady yesterday. Her husband had taken a horrendous beat in that event as well.
Awesome. And there's 2 ladies left in that 31 player pool that's moving on. And that's Caitlin Coper, who has 990,000 in chips, and Jennifer Lynn, who has 270,000 in chips. So 2 out of the 31 are ladies moving on, which, of course, at 12 p.m. we hope today they go further, right?
Yeah, exactly. The dealer's choice, they cleared out that field as well. They're down to the final 11 players. 135 players started the day on day 2, and I'm sure they'll play to a winner today as well. 140. I'm sorry, James Johnson leading the pack there with 1.46 million. Am I reading this right? He has 1. Oh no, this is by table. I'm sorry. I'm reading. Andrew Kelsall is leading the pack there with 1.95 million. And that.
And I have to beg for forgiveness because I did not look up if there are any women left in that one. I hope there are, but I'm not sure.
Well, let me see here if I spot that. There's only 11. So chip counts. Let's just see that. And not to blow up your spot, but good morning, Kev Math. You're always welcome to join. Sometimes we get people that have questions and stuff, so good to have you here. If you want to come up, if not, that's cool too. Certainly understand. Certainly fine.
And hey, Kevin, thanks for doing a phenomenal job as always.
Yeah, he's just amazing.
Although the one thing I would ask Kevin is if he has an update or any boots on the ground info on that Bellagio box that was empty when its owner opened it yesterday. Any scuttlebutt on that?
Yeah, that I haven't heard anything about since then. Since yesterday, I actually deleted my tweet to the poker boss just because I'm like, I wanted him to be aware of it, but I didn't want to, like, I'm sure he was aware of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah. I will thankfully just wait for him to come back on Spaces, because I just have actually some general questions like about the situation. And of course, I don't expect him to give us any of the actual details, but I do have some just general questions to ask him about boxes,
like the process
and the camera situation. Are there cameras in every spot where that box is taken to either fill or unfill? Just general questions.
Yeah,
So
maybe we can send him a DM with some of the things that we'd ask him, and then see if he'd be willing to come on and discuss it. I think that'd be
honestly,
probably
I
fair.
just think we should wait until he gets on and just
Well,
ask him, because that's the
yeah,
kind of
that's
guy
true.
he is. He
Yeah,
doesn't mind
that's
that.
probably true. So in that the interesting thing in the 1500 dealers choice event, um, John Racner left in 10th. Jeff Lissandro busted in 12th. And let me
Talk
see
about a
here.
character. Jeff Lissandro. I had the privilege of interviewing him one time. He is hilarious.
Yeah. David Levy left in that as well, and probably some others that I'm missing here. But again, Andrew Kelsall leading the way in that, and I'm sure they'll play down to a winner in that today. And then I'm not going to go through the online events, Sherry.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
To me, I don't know. No shade, but not my interest. Let's just say
And
that.
by all means, if somebody's interested in that, please let us know. We'll do it. But otherwise, I agree with you.
Yeah. So Fernando Habiger is leading the $5,000 mixed no limit hold'em pot limit Omaha game. That's got to be pretty crazy game with those PLO guys in there.
Right.
And he has 1.625 million in chips with, let me see here, I didn't get that one. There are 48 players left, 568 started, so I'm sure they'll at least play down to final table today. Let me see if the plan is that a 3-day event? Do you know, Sherry, the event number 6?
I do not know, but give me a minute to get back to my notes and I'll look.
Let me see here if I see it first. I got a bunch of tabs here open. Sorry.
No worries. And for those that didn't hear me earlier, I'm in the midst of getting vegetables prepped for a barbecue today. So that's the noise you're probably going to be hearing in my background.
There we go. So what are you making today?
Let's see. We have chicken shish kebabs. We have Italian sausage. We have just chicken breasts, corn on the cob, sweet potatoes, bell peppers, and I think that's it.
Oh, here. No, this is not the right page. Anyway, I'll go ahead and move on. And if you see that, then let me know here.
Okay, tell me the event again, and I'll try to see if I can get it.
Event number 6, the $5,000 mix no limit hold'em pot limit Omaha event, and just kind of wondering. I don't have the days up of that. This is they just had day 1 yesterday,
Yeah,
and
it's only a 2-day event, and let's see if
that's what
this
I
other.
figured.
Yeah, it's definitely a 2-day event, and let me see if this other thing has it on there.
So first place is 549,000. While Sherry's looking for that, all players remaining are guaranteed at least 8,000 today. So it looks like they're just inside the min cash there, I would imagine, and 2,608,000 dollar total prize pool on that event. So
And that is event number 6, and that restart is at 12 p.m. today.
12 p.m. So don't be late.
Don't be late. And we got to give a little shout out to our pal Alan Kessler, who had his 99th WSOP cash last night. So hats off to him.
Oh, this is cool. Adam Friedman is among the chip leaders after day 1 of the event number 7, the $1,500 limit hold'em, and as well as Mike Mike Lay looks like he's up there in chips. Nick Schulman with 180,000 left in chips. Eric Lindgren with 56,000. Joe McKeon 14,000 on a little bit. Sounds like a little bit short stacked there. Play resumes in that at 1 o'clock today, and that'll be at inside the horseshoe there. Players are scheduled to play 10 hour-long levels on their way toward the money places, and then the final table. The day 2 action starts on level 16 with blinds of 2,000, 4,000. One thing I was going to mention, Sherry, that we should be mentioning like every single day is, especially if you're coming in for day 2, like leave
Right.
super, super, super early. I can't say it enough. You have no idea what, yesterday was a little easier for me to get up the street, but if you're driving over, like leave early, like, I just know I'm going to be panicked for any day 2s I make.
Yeah, 100%. And somebody tweeted out yesterday, leave it up to the city of Las Vegas to do road construction all around the WSOP area. But they have plans for November, a racetrack, and they got to get it ready. And, it is what it is. So just as, Brian is saying, leaving plenty of time. At least you could, find a chair somewhere and just chill if you get there early versus rushing around and getting there in a panic because you've been stuck in traffic. So it is what it is, folks.
Yeah. And Kev Math just came up. So
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, greetings from the entrance to the Paris Convention Center.
Oh, awesome.
Greetings.
Yeah, it's
How are you doing this morning?
well, I'm awake, so that's one important thing. One important detail here. So, just checking out things here before got the Mystery Million starting. Oh, by the way, Fernando Habeger, he's many people will probably know him better as Jay Nandez, a PLO specialist. Has some issues with
Yes.
Doug Polk in the early days of these Twitter Spaces. So, let's see.
Yes.
And right now, if you're, let's see, taking a look at the line here, we got about.
Oh, this is great. You were going to get a lot. I'm sorry. Say that again.
It's a live line update. About 50 to 60 in line right now. It's not really as deep as I was expecting right now,
great.
but.
Well, thank you for that line update, the first of our spaces.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
I think more and more people, Kev, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably more and more people are using the kiosks and things like that, and that's probably helping a little bit.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. As I watch someone swipe right now at a kiosk.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I know there were some issues with the kiosks yesterday afternoon, and like I tweeted, there was like 4 people working on the machines at Horseshoe, so they got them back working, but it was like basically like a server issue that knocked them all out for a while.
Yeah. Yesterday when I went to register for what I was playing yesterday, it worked fine. The one problem I have a lot of times is, for some reason, like if you have one of these wallets with a magnet on it, like those get demagnetized really easy. So I try to keep it in a different pocket, but other than that, like it seems to work. So
Brian, the one question I have for you, did they ever debit your account for your day 1 entry fee that they had not yet on day 2?
I don't know yet. I need to look actually still. Yeah, I told Jack, Kev, that they actually had me with more money in my account than I had. So hopefully they're gonna figure that out. I figured it's bad luck to like let that ride or something, like just
bad karma.
let them know, so as Kev just said, from the line update, I'm sure that's for the Mystery Millions. That's going to kick off here in for day 1C at 10 o'clock, and again, that's $1,000 buy-in, 40,000 starting chips, 30-minute levels on day 1. You can do one re-entry per flight, and they're going to play 12 levels today. How do you think that's going, Kev? Like as far as like the break timings and lunches and or dinners. Like I know the later events, there's no dinner break, which seems kind of really smart to do. What's your take on that? If you can hear me.
We might have lost him. It sounded like he was getting into the middle area of the.
Yeah. He was in the cyclone.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
was in what I call the cave, deep in the cave.
The big event, that's going to have a lot of crushers in it today is well, I guess the 7-card stud will too, but that's kind of a lower buy-in. But for the high limit guys, the 25K heads up no limit championship today at 12 o'clock. That is event number 8. And if you're planning to play that, there's a 64 player max field for that, and it's a 3-day event. So 25K buy-in, 150,000 in chips, 20-minute levels, and you'll play. It looks like one match per day. Here, Sherry, it says
Yes.
first draw.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that.
Yeah, that's what I get out of that.
And in that, well, I guess in that event, I don't know. Do you think they'll sell out?
I think they will.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have a hard time thinking any event is going to be under in numbers. I just don't think that's happening this year.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that is if you have a weird, number in that, then yeah, I'm sorry about that. If you have a weird number in that, then some people end up with buys in the first round, which is kind of throws off the event a little bit.
I wouldn't like that myself.
Yeah.
I would not like that.
Yeah, I mean, like you draw Doug Polk and somebody else gets a buy. It's like what? I don't know. I don't know if Doug's playing that this year, but anyway, I would not want to face Doug Polk in round 1 of the 25K heads up. So anyway, that gets underway at noon. So get on over there for that event, and then the 7-card stud, $1,500 7-card stud event number 9 gets going at 2 o'clock today. 25,000 starting chips, 40-minute levels, and they're going to play 9 levels of that today. So those are the events that the World Series events that we got going today. If people have any questions about tournaments around, I've got the handy dandy Hendon Mob spreadsheet. I don't know where.
Right, and I can tell you what's at the Aria.
Yeah.
Today.
By the way, that spreadsheet is thanks to Kev Math sending me the link, because that's.
Yeah, Kenny. Are you looking at Kenny's, or are you looking at Kim Unger's? Or his? Are you looking at Kevin Math's?
No,
did
no,
one.
Kev. The Hendon Mob should give Kev Math credit. I think he should get credit for everything, but
that's what I do. It's him, whether it is or not. If it has to do with the Hendon Mob, I'm giving him the credit, and I know that's wrong because there are a lot of people that work on that stuff, but. We're just so used to him pushing the info that how can you not give him credit for that?
Yeah, Kev Math. Again, we got to get Kev Math in the Hall of Fame. I think at least.
I think that's a great
a vote, right? So
I think it's definitely going to get my recommendation for sure. And I'm going to tell you that today at the Aria is the $600 buy-in seniors no limit, and that's for seniors 50 years of age or older. Starts at 11 o'clock, folks.
Yeah, and then everyone knows like the WSOP has satellites going all day, has the daily deep stack, which I think is one of the better tournaments in town. Yesterday's first prize was around 15,000. So for a $250 buy-in, a shot at 15K seems pretty good to me. How about you, Shay?
Right? Yeah, no, 100%. Absolutely. And I can also tell you that the Golden Nugget in their Grand Poker Series, they have a $200 buy-in. It looks like they have about 400 day ones, or A through I, however many is. That started on Thursday, and the first days will go through Saturday, and that's a no limit 200,000 guarantee, unlimited entries, $200 each entry. So there you go. That's what's happening over there.
MGM Grand has their MGM Grand Summer Series going today. In half an hour, 10 o'clock is the start of the Omaha event, and that's a $500 buy-in. Looks like a $30,000 guarantee, 25,000 starting chips, 30 levels today. It's an unlimited re-entry, and late reg will be open till the start of level 9. So,
okay, I have a confession to make, and you need to write this down on the calendar because it does not happen often. I made a mistake and I misspoke.
Oh no! Oh no!
That what I quoted for the Grand Poker Series at the Nugget is for next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Actually, today they have 1D of a 200K guarantee, but this weekend it's going to be, well, actually it is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but they also mixed in a daily deep stack, a 10K guarantee for $150 buy-in that starts at 1 p.m. So that's just the difference between this weekend and next weekend, just to be clear.
And another one that's pretty popular is this Orleans summer poker open, and they have a mixed game tournament today, 560 buy-in, 25,000 starting chips, with a $25,000 guarantee. Although I have to, Sherry, I have to throw them a little shade on that because I think they were one of the ones last year that did not honor a guarantee, I think.
I don't remember if they were one of them. I do remember another property for sure was one of them, but you may be right. I just don't remember.
Yeah, don't hold me to that. But if anybody, I wouldn't stop me from playing it. Let's say that. But I don't like the idea that some places can list a guarantee and then not hold the guarantee. So it is
it's
important.
Shady as hell, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, it
that's
is
shady
important.
as hell.
It is important to say, hey, we're gonna, maybe you look at the guarantee as a kind of a guide, but you don't hold it as a hard fast rule. The mystery bounty has a $2 million guarantee at the World Series. Do I feel confident they're gonna honor that guarantee? Yeah, I would be pretty surprised if they didn't. But some of these other things around town, I don't know. And I heard the poker boss talk about how, to have a little bit of compassion, for the position that somebody is in a corporate position that way.
100%. But here's the thing to that.
Yeah.
They're holding us accountable to all the rules and regulations, right?
Right. Yep.
The same thing goes to them. And believe me, I get it. I think you know me well enough to know I always try to look at all sides of the story before I make a decision or a comment. But in this case, if you say guaranteed $15,000 prize pool, then by golly, that's it. I mean, the casino just needs to eat it.
Yeah. I mean, I that's what that's about. Don't make the guarantee. The word guarantee has a meaning to me, and I'm sure in the fine print they have some way out of it, but I always believe, fine print or no fine print, what do you think is right to do for people? And I think it's to honor your guarantees. So speaking of that, a pretty big guarantee over there at the Golden Nugget, a 200K guarantee for a $200 buy-in. But that is a multi-flight type of thing. They're on flight D today. of the
There's
grand.
9 flights for that tournament.
Wow, yeah. So they'll
And it's
probably,
unlimited. Hey, don't forget that unlimited
yeah,
buy-in. So
unlimited rebuys and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. But if you come in there and you play, you get some cards, you play maybe a little bit conservative when everybody else is playing. Well, everybody else is punting stacks to you.
Right.
You might be able to run up a stack and get into day two when
Hey,
the real tournament probably starts, right?
hey, I am not mad at it. I am not mad at it. That's for sure. And talk about value, right? Talk about value.
It is unbelievable, Sherry. When you go to one of these lists, what's his name? Spacey what's his name, that was one of the first ones to come out with one of these lists.
Kenny.
Kenny Hallard, right? Kenny
Yeah.
Hallard.
Right.
He came out with one of these lists, and now people have put these lists on websites. The one Kev Math sent me is uh, under the hendonmob.com/Vegas, and you can filter these things. So I'm just looking today at June 2nd, and like if you're out here and you're asking, is there something to play? There is literally like, it seems like every hour from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. there's something starting.
Hundred
you know
percent. And
and
that, and that includes the Caesars nightlies, or
yeah,
the South
yeah,
Point nightlies, or the Red Rocks. I don't know what they offer there because I've never played there, but it not only includes what's at the WSOP or near the WSOP, but it includes the Wynn and Resorts World and etc. It's
yeah,
a great tool.
yeah. It's like here, the Resorts World, 7:05 tonight. No limit hold'em, $160 daily no limit hold'em tournament, 3,000 $3,000 guarantee, 20,000 in chips, 20-minute levels, unlimited rebuys until 9:15. So literally there are, I don't know how many on here, but you like Omaha, there's an Omaha tournament. You like limit hold'em, you like PLO. They have a PLO bounty tournament at the Venetian starting at 1 o'clock. $800 buy-in, $60,000 guarantee, 25,000 starting chips, 30-minute levels. So you can go through here and really find what you want to play, what your goals are, and that kind of thing. And what I like doing actually is like, you want to come here and you want to play some of these World Series events, maybe, you can use some of these, any of these things as like your unofficial satellite into something else,
Hundred
So,
percent. And you know what? There's so many price points, right? And
yeah,
so, the price points, I think, is what makes it so awesome. That, maybe you're not confident newbie, we'll go over to South Point and play a lower buy-in tournament.
I
Or,
was just going to say that South
it's,
Point.
and it's, yeah, it's awesome. And, I see my girl Donna's here, and I know she's working today and tomorrow at a tournament. So I want her to fill us in on what's going on in the UK and the tournament series you're
Oh,
helping
that'd be
with.
great. Yeah, she's still connecting.
Yep.
What
Whenever you get it there,
while
Donna.
she's connecting, you mentioned South Point, and I had just been I just and cheap buy-in. I just happened to be seeing theirs is a $60 buy-in, starts at 2 o'clock, no limit hold'em. Obviously, a turbo. Any of those real low buy-ins, they're going to have to run them as turbos because you. I mean, how much of that is going to go toward the dealer? They've got to pay labor and that sort of thing. So you have 1,500 starting chips. I'm sorry, $1,500 guarantee, 15,000 starting chips with 15-minute levels. So that's going to kind of play pretty quick.
Okay, now
And
I'm going to tell
but,
you, do
yeah,
you have a synopsis of, because I have a synopsis. They have like a 10:05 a.m. $60 tournament, 4,000 guarantee. Then they have a 2:05 $60 tournament, a 1,500 guarantee, a 6:05 p.m. tournament, $150 no limit
bounty.
bounty for 10 grand, and then a 10:05 tournament, which I love this tournament, which is a $60 no limit turbo for 1,500 guarantee. That is such a nice set of tournaments.
100%. Yeah. And a nice poker room. And like you said yesterday, a great cafe, right?
Oh my God. If you like chicken schnitzel, I'm telling you, this is the place to go. But the other food on their menu, I haven't, I go there sometimes with a group of 10 or 15, and there's never been a complaint because their menu is huge and everything that they bring out is cooked fresh. Sometimes when there's a big menu, that's not the case, but it is the case at the cafe, and the service is really good too. Go ahead, Donna.
Hello, from a beautiful sunny Rotherham United football ground in the UK.
You're running
How's everybody?
You're running a tournament today, Donna?
I'm helping. I'm there for support. I'm just outside, so it might be a bit windy.
What tournament are you running?
It's a Marcel Luske, Flying Dutchman.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I'm helping out with that. First ever tournament.
Man, what a classy guy that guy is,
I love him. I first met him in DTD about 3 months ago. And Sylvia introduced me to him. And he says, "I've seen your face around." I went, "Oh shit." Says, "Really?"
If we had more of him and less of, no, I'm just kidding.
No, you're right on track.
Yeah, no, if we had more of him in the poker world, more of that kind of attitude, and that's important. If you're a pro, don't be the guy at the table or the girl at the table that's just miserable. Come and have fun, and I always think, especially in a World Series event or a big tournament, people are there, it's kind of you're the representation kind of thing, anyway, so.
And you can also make or break someone else's experience, right?
Totally true.
Yeah.
Totally true. I mean, Marcel.
Well, you want to give us some details about the tournament today, Donna?
All I know is that it's free. It's free to turn up. We're going round all the football stadiums in the UK. Hi, Sylv. Tesco to get them balls. All right, love. Hang on a minute.
Tell her I said hello.
There says, "Hey, hey,
hey."
That's Sylvia, who's de-stressing now with a minty. Minty smoke.
That is Sylvia Hewitt.
Yes.
I just want everybody to know who we were talking about.
Yes, Sylvia Hewitt. One of the most amazing ladies there. She's so kind, she's so caring, and she's just mental. But I love her to bits.
All right. You want to update us on how you guys are going to crawl from one stadium to the next?
Not crawling anywhere. Going in car. Going in the car. I know the next one.
When used in that way, means going from place to place.
All right. Well, crawling means crawling on your hands and knees, and I ain't doing none of that because I'll never get back up. Next one is York on Sunday. I mean, obviously, I might not be able to get to every one of them, but that's fine. They're the only two that I know because obviously it's been really short notice. I knew about this one, so I've been helping Sylvia promote it. But yeah, we've got York on Sunday, and I don't know where after that.
Awesome. What a great project. I see Gordon has his hand raised. Go ahead, Gordon.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, thanks. What you got for us?
Hey, question for software. Sorry, I just joined late.
No worries.
Is the Horseshoe / Bally's also hosting their multiple $75 dailies as well?
Let me see here. So
I don't think so, but it's probably worth checking.
Let me see here. Hang on. So Horseshoe, it does show on here a daily $100 buy-in at 11 a.m. For $1,000 or $1,000 guarantee. No other details on that. Let me scan through. It shows. See, some of these are going to get mixed up with the series too, because they list the daily deep stack at the Horseshoe. That's a $250 buy-in, but that's a World Series daily deep stack.
Yeah.
And then obviously they have the 4 p.m. daily deep stack as well. So two for the World Series, they're the 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock, with the 1 o'clock being a $250 buy-in and the 4 o'clock being a $400 buy-in. And then you obviously have all of the satellites as well. So
I think I would call them and ask, honestly.
Yeah, I would go ahead and do that.
Just verify that 11 o'clock $100 buy-in tournament. I just, it's easy enough to have overlooked that to remove it. And but I think I would call and just verify that that's still.
The other nice thing, Gordon, is there's also these satellites that run throughout the series that now they like the WSOP daily mega satellite at 3 p.m., which is a $240 buy-in. That awards 2,000 in casino chips per 2,000 in entries, obviously. And so that's the thing that I'm trying to keep in mind for people, is that some of these tournaments award entry into a tournament and others award casino chips. So, I would say that at minimum, there's no shortage of of tournaments. It's unbelievable how much poker's out here. And I was mentioning, Sherry, yesterday to somebody that it's really good because back when they moved over the WSOP over to the Rio, they got everybody over there. I think that Caesars probably had the feeling like we're the only game in town. We can kind of like make the rake whatever we want, and then poker players will show up. But I think that first year that the Venetian ran their deep stack series, they started seeing, whoa, we're getting, that's getting a lot of people away from our.
Well, don't forget the Goliath that used to be at Planet Hollywood.
That was a huge tournament.
You can't forget that tournament series because they had great price points, and it was on the Strip, and it was a Caesars property.
Well, now, Sherry, I want to forget it, though, because for some reason I could not win in that poker room for anything. Oh, my goodness. Like,
so
it was
noted.
a disaster.
So noted.
And the grossest thing would be to, being crushed by guys like Ari Engel all day long at the World Series, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get away from there, go play with some tourists, and you walk up and who's standing there but Ari Engel? Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, Ari, what are you doing here?
Are you sure he doesn't have a twin somewhere out there that you just keep running into? I want to bring up something that a friend of mine or acquaintance of mine tweeted about yesterday that I think is worth noting. And I'm just going to read his tweet. This is your daily reminder that Caesars and the WSOP don't respect or value you as a customer. And I literally think we are too stupid to do anything about it. $5.37 in in additional fees on a $12.67 burger. And if you do the math, they're taxing the service charge too. Play elsewhere. And he shows a picture of his receipt from the restaurant that he ate at, and it says Horseshoe WSOP Banquets. And his burger was $12.67, $1.96 gratuity, $1.21 service charge, and $1.15 or 16, I can't read it, for a total of $17. And his burger was $12.67 to start out with. So buyers beware.
Yeah, so that brings up my thought, Sherry. Let me know, and if anybody else has a comment on this, let me know what you think. My daughter's out here with me. She needs some time to learn how to play poker before I'm going to be putting her to any events.
Right.
And so we go over there, and we didn't have time to stop for lunch. We ran this kind of long yesterday, and so I said, why don't you run and go get me something from that place, that area out front. I wanted they have a Mediterranean place. So and I'll go, you just bring it to me at the table. So
Yeah.
she comes to the table. Man, people were ready to order from her. So I was thinking maybe that should be her job for the summer, like she
Well,
can run food for people. And
I'm going to say this to you. And even when it was brought up the other day, there's a lady that tweeted out she's doing charcuterie boards at the
yeah,
WSOP, and you can order them and she'll bring them to you.
yeah,
And I'm going to say that Kevin Math said it's not going to take long before they shut her down.
yeah.
So
That's what
I
I
would
figured.
say to you, if you wanted to do something like that, you need to just private message some of your friends and
Yeah,
say, look, she's here, let me know, kind of thing, and not make it public. Because if she shows up at a table with food, nobody's going to know what she's
yeah.
doing other than bringing someone some food. But I mean, that's a way to get around it. I don't want anybody to get in trouble with the WSOP, but I don't see it as a problem if I
So
want to have my daughter bring a friend of mine some food. So there you go.
hey, so you're saying I should put a hold on my All American Abby shirts?
Yeah. Yeah, because All American Dave had been doing it how many years, and they just shut
Yeah,
him down. I mean, and he had a great thing going. And quite honestly, the alternatives that they've given the players isn't that good. I mean, it's one thing to get rid of somebody, but replace it with something the same or better at least, right? So
yeah.
anyway,
And it may be contrary to popular opinion, but I like that. I like all American. Well, maybe not even popular opinion. There were some complainers about that. I felt it was kind of crazy. Like the guy lost his business, and
look,
he even offered people, if you'd like, just contact me if for the he shouldn't have carried their things over year to year anyway. I just felt, but like,
well, and
you know,
you have to look at it from a bookkeeper's point of view.
yeah,
That's a nightmare. How many thousands of people is he servicing? And how could he, in his wildest of dreams, think this would happen? And
yeah.
so it just turned into a nightmare, unfortunately, for the guy who was trying to help out us, the players,
I mean,
and his concept was great. You order it and they bring it right to the table. I mean,
and you can hate on anybody, but
yeah,
you so often do. When we get a little off track, you're like, hey, can we get back to something else?
yeah.
Something
I mean,
less toxic.
let's, news travels, bad news travels faster, right? So gossip is usually bad news, so it travels faster. But
Yeah, I want to
the
get.
thing about it is the WSOP had no answer for to replace that. And I think that to me is like, well, you wanted him not to come back. Well, why don't you put in a food service that's willing to do the same thing for the players that he did then?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up Raja, to
Come
get
on.
to hear what happened yesterday. We're on our way to millions of dollars and a bracelet, I'm sure. Let's go, Raja.
Go,
Nope,
Raj.
we're gonna try again today. I
I busted a little before dinner break. And then I ended up playing the $135 satellite last night, but I didn't make it there. But I'm gonna buy in again right now for the Friday mystery bounty. But it's pretty tough because I had a pretty decent stack, but those blinds. I mean, when I got busted, the blinds were 5,000-10,000. I had about 160,000, 180,000. So they creep on you pretty fast. So I thought
they go fast.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong turbo structure. So either have to be very aggressive and get lucky, or maybe be a little bit more patient. I don't know. I've got to figure out kind of how to approach it. So.
Either way, you got to have some luck in there.
Yeah, you got to.
And
definitely.
Day two, it slows down a little bit. It goes from 30 to 40-minute levels.
Oh,
but,
good. Okay.
I'm sure it. I'm sure it still plays a little fast, maybe. But on the other hand, though, that day one, you're definitely shrinking the field so much that a lot of chips, I'm sure, are flying all day long.
Well, I forgot to see. I'm looking right now. So there were. Let's see. So there were 29 or almost 3,000 entries, and there's 146 bags. So it's about 5% that kind of advance. It looks like.
I think that let me see, a single re-entry per flight. That's a little bit better than it just being unlimited. But that is one thing. When you have these re-entries and it's $1,000 buy-in, you're going to have somebody like Negreanu come over and just fire until he builds a stack. Sean Deeb or these guys that are trying to collect the player of the year points and things like that. So, maybe not at your table, but that's going to be going on. And if you make it towards the end, you're going to have people like that have built a stack. Like you're already at a little bit of a disadvantage, or at least I'll admit that I am against somebody like Daniel. But now Daniel with a stack of chips, but if you're lucky enough to land at his table and you play tight and he's getting it in there early and often, then you can pick up some punts. Yeah, Donna.
Yeah, just an update on what I'm doing today. It's the European Open Poker Championships, and it's free. There's a minimum of 60 live events in Britain, a minimum of 60 online and bounty events in Britain. There's 120 winners. There's second to sixth place. Top 5% of each event go to an online semi-final, which is to be announced. There's 120 winners. And finally, a total of 240 live and online players compete to become the national champion. The top 18 best country players qualify also for the grand final to become the European Open Poker Championship. And that's to be determined, and it's all over Europe. Football grounds all over Europe.
That's awesome.
Now, if I came over there, would there be and won it? Would there be like an international incident or anything like that?
No, of course they wouldn't. I'd welcome you to come over. You're more than welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Wait a second.
Says the spider to the.
Does that mean I'm the mark?
I said, says the spider to the fly.
Of course not. Come over here. You sound like the people at the. You sound like the people at the cash game table when I ask them when the blinds go up.
Oh, I love it.
They said, "Oh no, they don't go up. Come on over here. Sit down. We'll help you. We'll help you out of all of your cash."
Oh,
yeah. So tons of things going on. Raja, so 10 o'clock. Are you going to make it on time in there? You got your ticket?
No, I'm just actually just walking. I'll just buy it on the Bravo online and.
Oh, sorry, you're cutting out, Raj.
I will say, I think the tournaments have been run pretty well. Breaks are usually on time, but let's see. Let's hope we don't go 10-handed today. I'm expecting if they got 3,000 yesterday, you probably get 3,500 to 4,000 today, and probably 5,000 tomorrow. So it's going to get pretty. I'm pretty sure it's going to get 10-handed either tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And maybe 50-50
tomorrow will be
shot for today. So
crazy.
let's see.
Tomorrow will be crazy for sure. And for those people that are coming into town today on Friday and planning to play tomorrow, make sure to, I would say, register tonight if you can, and make sure that you're on time, because if you do register tonight, then your chips are in play tomorrow. So make sure to do that, because you don't want to be sitting there getting blinded off. But if you register tomorrow, like Kev Math said, there's something like almost 100 people in line, I think you said, Sherry.
That's correct. That's somewhere about 70 to 90 people in line. So
that number is going to grow quite a bit. And if you are going to play several events this summer, or the line looks really long, you can always you could probably still go to the main cage and do and put money in a TBIC account, and then you can use that those kiosks like Raj was talking about for picking up your ticket. You just go to, what is it again, Sherry? Like I had it yesterday. This is one thing. Let me look it up here.
yeah, don't forget to add whatever you're putting on the card, so to speak, or the account. Be sure to add $3 per action you plan to make, because that's the fee you're going to pay, $3. So add.
That's a good point too, and that's assuming that you don't buy in with credit card, right? You're using your TBIC account to do that. So once you have money in your TBIC account, you go to bravopokerlive.com, bravopokerlive.com, and then you have to create an account there. I think there's something that you have to do at the site to verify that account and things like that. But once you do that, then you can go to Bravo Poker Live and register on the app. So literally you'll walk up and there'll be like 150 people in line, and you'll just register on your phone, swipe your player card in the kiosk, wait for all 3 printouts, like we always try to say, because the 3rd printout is actually the ticket that you're going to need to get into the event. Lastly, I think that Ari Engel's advice yesterday was life-changing. Make sure to take a picture of your ticket throughout the day, like if you forget where you're at or whatever, or wherever you forget where you started, you'll have that. But then B, you'll always have that if you need that for tax reasons or whatever later on. So
let's go over that for a minute. So take a picture of your entry ticket. When you're going on break, take a picture of your stack of chips.
Yes.
So you know how many chips you have left at the table, and take a picture of the table number that you were at before you left for break. Don't take a picture of the dealer, because he doesn't matter, she doesn't matter, because they could change. But the table number is what you need to take a picture of, and that's just for covering your ass, as they say.
Yeah, and the other thing is that it's funny that you say that, because yesterday we were kind of talking about this, Sherry, and when we got to the color up yesterday, we went on break, and like I told you yesterday, I always like to sit there and watch them do the color, make sure the chips are right and all that. Well, everybody left the table, and I looked up and I went, oh crap, we forgot to sell all the $100 chips. So the dealer at the next table is yelling to our dealer in whatever language they were talking, blah 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 blah, and they're going back and forth. And I looked at our dealer and I said, just stop. don't do anything.
Yeah.
Wait till the floor gets here.
Yeah.
Do not touch anything. It will be okay. Just slow down and stop. The floor comes over, and this is probably the first time ever. I don't know about you, but for me, a lot of times the floor people are like, I need you out of here. And you're like, no, I'm not leaving. Well, I don't say it like that, obviously. I say, can I stay? Am I allowed to stay?
I'm going to tell you what I do when they say that.
Yeah.
I just stand up and take a step back and just watch.
Yeah, I say, listen, I just like to see or whatever. Be respectful. Don't be demanding. You don't want to get kicked out of the tournament because you said something stupid. So anyway, surprisingly, why I say this is we were all talking about how sometimes the floors don't want you there. The floor actually walked up and he said, hey, can you do me a favor and help watch what we're doing and make sure that, we're doing it right? And I was like,
love that.
Right
I love that because now they have a player that can testify to the other players what took place. I think that's awesome.
Like if every floor person had that attitude, I would love it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and that brings up another thing with these dealers. A lot of new dealers at the World Series. You're going to have a varying degree from somebody that's maybe on their first day ever dealing and they're super nervous and they're, imagine these people, like, they're not poker people, so
right.
they're,
I'll tell you, the ones that kill me are the dealers that are dealing to me that have never played a hand of poker in their life.
Yeah. And
my God.
And imagine,
it's obvious.
Imagine you're that person, Sherry,
I know.
Now you're dealing at the World Series of
Oh, I
Poker.
know. And let me tell you what I look at them because you can tell they're nervous. They're usually shaking, and they're just barely talking, and they're in half sentences and half words because they're so nervous. And honestly, I just look at them and I say, "Excuse me, I see you're nervous. I'll pay real close attention and help you, okay?" And they're like, "Yes, please."
Yeah, I just always encourage them something like that. I tell them, just if something happens and you're not sure what to do, just stop, slow down. We'll all help you. It's not the end of the world if you make a mistake.
Right. And guess what? We want it right, not fast. Being correct is more important than you being fast.
Have you ever been at one of these tables and the new dealer comes in and makes a mistake right away and the people start berating the person?
Oh yeah.
Like, how does the person deal better after that or worse?
Yeah, let's make them more nervous than they already are, because that's productive, right?
What's up, Eric? Are you playing today or not playing?
No, I'm not playing it. I might play golf today. Remember, Ari Engel actually said take a picture of where you parked your car. That was more important.
Yeah, that's another one.
That was number one. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah, that is true too, because like, I never like to be walking out through the parking lot at the Paris. Like, I would feel maybe a little safer. I'm not driving a car this week, but like at casinos, let's just say at casinos in LA, I the valet parking is worth whatever the valet parking costs. And as you're leaving any kind of casino, make sure you're aware of who's around you or things like that. I have definitely, like, there was one time I was cashing out and these guys followed me. They were like standing kind of awkwardly off to the side. I try to avoid taking cash from the casino. Like, I'm going to report it anyway. So, I rarely have cash on me. And actually, it's such a problem too, Sherry. Like, I don't even have money. Yesterday, I was like, I don't even have money for a tip here for if I want to drink or something. Like,
I'll tell you my hint for tips.
Yeah.
It's my first trip to the cage.
Yes.
I always get $20 in singles, in $1 chips. And I just put them right in my casino purse or my backpack right away. And then I don't have to worry about tips for a while. And if I need a bigger tip, I just give them, 5 of the white chips or whatever.
Yeah. So you just have chips ready for them
Yep.
instead of dollars. That's smart too, because
Did you get them out of your box?
No, because somebody took all my money out of my box.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it's funny that you said that about the chips, Sherry, because I have these a $2 and a $1 chip from last year that I had in my bag, and
Perfect tip
yesterday
money.
when I was thinking I needed a drink, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, when I travel with my kids a lot, of their significant others, we'll all give one person $20 at the start of the trip, and that person has to go get 100 singles or 200 singles, however many of us are going, and they're the tip person. So wherever we're at, they get some fives too, because sometimes our luggage is nuts, so we pay with fives or tens. But then that's our tip person. So whenever we're getting a valet or a baggage handler or whatever, a cocktail waitress, whatever, that's our tip person. You're in charge of tips, and we never have to think about it after the start of the trip.
I love when Donna says, "Bloody spaces drag me in." At least I'm not cooking as she trolls. Like, what an expert troll there. Oh, that's just great. So
we got her.
Yeah, that's funny. She's like ready to go. So Raj, like, hopefully you can run it up today in the mystery millions.
Yeah, I just looked that tournament up. I didn't realize he was kind of obviously right, but I the final level before they shut down for the night was 15,000, 30,000 with 30,000 ante.
It's like a complete bloodbath.
There's got to be no, because I wondered how the hell did people get to 2 million chips on day one. I don't think there's a tournament in the world that's a multi-day tournament where you can get over 2 million on day one.
That is true, because like I was commenting to my daughter yesterday or something. I was like, yeah, last year actually I had a tournament. I got over 1 million in chips, and then within like 5 minutes went bust on or probably 15 minutes, let's say. Had like 5 hands in a row that just got like ran over by the deck.
Yeah, all the tournaments I've played, if you play day two, you got to have more than 100,000, because every tournament starts with 30 to plus now, it seems like. But if you have a few 100,000, maybe three or 400,000, you feel like you're done really well at most tournaments around the country. But then I saw last night that one, the $2 million, or 2 million chips, multiple people. I think today will be a bigger flight, but we might see a 3 million chip stack. Who knows? That's just, I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. You're like, if you're only going to fire one bullet, like, what day do you play? I think that's kind of interesting to always think about.
Yeah. Now, what was it? Is it 1+1 every day? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That's the. So I remember I heard you mention Negranu about 20 minutes ago. That was they basically changed the rules because of him, because of that one year where I think he had like 40 something rebuys, and he got like third place, and he made money, but he needed like 8th place or better to even break even in a huge field. He got third, and they didn't like that. He got that close to a bracelet.
So I had one year, they had one of those events towards the end of the series, and I'm kind of half joking with my table that I'm just going to fire, if I got to fire like 30K into this thing, I'm going for it.
Must be nice.
Like, the guy from Poker News happened to walk by, and then my wife read his little comment. It's like, I was kidding, honey. I was kidding.
Yeah. Oh, you were kidding. Okay, you were kidding.
Yeah.
They thought you were actually going to buy it 30 times. Yeah. And they realized that I'm a huge advocate of rebuy / reentry. That's great. I think I always think 1+1 is probably preferable, or some variation of it. Even the main event, I think the main event would be great if you could enter one time each flight, like one day, 1A, 1B, 1C. I'm totally fine if you could, even the pros could enter one time each flight, and I'd be okay with that. But anything beyond like a 1+1 where you have 3, 4, 5, then unlimited. Not only I don't want to say it's unfair, but it becomes a shit show, right? the format's weird. The dealer's got to deal with all that crap going on, and I don't know. It just becomes a crap show.
I like that there's one flight. I like the price point, or one entry. I like the price point, and the reason is that I think that Negreanu and all these people have enough of an advantage in a field like that. It's like, come on,
and you just gave 30 reasons why that freeze out for the main event's a good idea, because somebody like David or Daniel, kind of bought his way to third place.
Correct. And that was a multiple rebuys. I'm saying the main event, I think if I ran the main event, I think, because you're gonna have bad beats, you're gonna have straw. I think there's 3 starting days. I think 1 per starting day wouldn't be that crazy. It wouldn't like pros. You're not just gonna go all in and jump back in line.
So think about this. But they are going to do this, Eric. They are going to play day 1, make it to day 2, and see on day 1B if they can build a bigger stack. That kind of thing.
Right.
Or okay. I don't. What's wrong with that?
Things for me is I like it being a freeze out.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
But the prize pool will grow. I think the prize will grow a lot without actually giving a huge advantage to any high rollers, because you're not again, you can't just go all in and jump back in line.
Well, I think the prize pool is plenty big, quite honestly, and there's other 10K
well, it can get bigger though. It could be, you might hit 12 or 14 million.
But there's other tournaments that you can rebuy in, so leave the main event.
Not like the main event.
Leave the main event alone.
So the non-pros would be playing it like a freeze out, because they only have 1, and they'd be tighter, than a pro would be on, that has 4 shots at it. And by the way, there's no like right answer. This is like a matter of.
No, I agree. I'm not saying my answer is the right answer.
Me neither.
Okay, sure. What I'm saying is my answer is the right answer if you're going to change it. If not, you should change it. I'll step back. Donna's got her hand up.
Donna, go for it.
Right, I'm going to go because I've got something to eat now. So I will love you and leave you.
Have a great day. Say hi to Marcel Luske for all of us.
Hang on a minute. I'm just going to see if I can have a quick grab Marcel quickly. But food's arrived. Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Did she say hang on? Oh.
Yeah, because she's going to try to grab him for you.
Oh, that's cool. Excellent.
But we can chat. Yeah, I don't think there's a need to change the main event. And of course, it's just my opinion. There's all kinds of tournaments out there with multi-buy-ins, multi-days buy-ins, blah, blah, blah. We don't always have to change things. Why can't we just like the history of what's going on? Just my 2 cents.
Exactly. Yeah. I just like, I like that idea that everybody has that pressure.
It's a level playing field for everybody. Just because you have more money than somebody, you shouldn't have the advantage.
I mean, things go through your mind in the main event, or the night before, you're sitting there thinking, hand 1. The guy goes in with your dealt pocket kings facing somebody that just like re-raises you all in pre-flop, and you're like, what am I going to do here? Well, you're going to call, but you have weird, crazy things like that go through your mind that, in the $11 rebuy on Poker Stars, you probably wouldn't have. But that can be an advantage. I think that's a big advantage, right? Like Daniel comes into that without that pressure,
right. And everybody starts out the same if it's a freeze out. And guess what? It all comes down to your talent. Well,
no, I disagree. That's the point. I think the reason freeze outs are somewhat unfair sometimes is you might, at your table, you might win with like a small flush where someone else makes quads over quads and loses. I think it's unfair that you're in level 2 and now you're out.
That's poker.
Oh, I agree. That's poker. But I think an easy way to fix that is if you fly all the way from Georgia out to Las Vegas, it gives you a chance to play the tournament again. You get one rebuy back in.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Whoa,
necessary.
talk about shots fired. Our good friend Coco, he says he's replying to DGAF poker player because
is that about the Wesley stuff?
Yeah, so there was this comment about Huss that he made, and it's kind of like just dragging him, you know. So Coco says, "You cornball, you are upset that Huss has double your fan base after 2 nights on the show. Keep curating that Monday lineup for yourself like a bum hunter. Huss is a G." Like,
there you go.
Man.
Well, one thing, I don't know the answer to this. I could look it up, but DJF tweeted and he said the word overtly racist. What is overtly referring to?
Yeah, go ahead, Sherry.
Honestly, I think the whole thing's stupid. So I have no comments.
Okay, well, my comment would be, I think DJF it was very slight racism. He was joking about he mixed up some names. I don't know if you saw that, the names of the Asian guys at the table. It wasn't overt racist. I don't think it was kind of a slight, just kind of. I don't know. DGF came out of nowhere to say that, so I'm happy Coco clapped back.
It's like saying, "I'm not saying this just because she's a female."
Well, and we're throwing words around.
It's like so dumb.
We're throwing words around we shouldn't be throwing around.
Right.
Those words don't always apply to what's going on, and they're just buzzwords, clickbait words, and I got better things to do than all that.
But yeah, but it could ruin, in the words of a certain rock star, it can ruin people's careers when you call them racist.
Yeah,
it's tough.
So yeah, it's I agree with Cherry. Like it's too much. Like I think that starting from a point of of positivity toward people and letting them prove otherwise is, as long as you're not being a fish and being taken advantage of, is probably the right way to go with most things, So
just be a good person, right? Just be a good person.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, most people are good people, and I think a lot of the disagreements and things like that are misunderstandings of people's position. I actually had dinner with somebody last night. We're like on opposite sides of the religious spectrum. We're on opposite sides of the political perspective, and yet we can sit there and talk about all of it, and just kind of enjoy each other's differing opinions. And sometimes I get a different perspective on things.
You know what I call that? Being an adult.
It's just amazing. It's amazing to have a conversation with people, and just like the main event there, right? Like PP has a completely different side to it, but I'm not like, you're a terrible person.
No.
Wait, what?
Right. Yeah.
I thought I was on the right side.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, no, I'm right. It's like, no, okay, it's probably not like that. So hopefully Donna's gonna drag up Marcel Luske here.
Are you gonna be okay if she does, or are you gonna pass out if she does?
I'm gonna make sure that she gets an autograph, and
don't be a tourist.
I'm not gonna be too weird, I promise.
Pretend like you've been here before. Don't be a tourist.
I'm only gonna ask him if he can. No, I'm just kidding. I was trying to think of something weird, but it was all getting too creepy.
Hey, don't get creepy.
Sherry, I can take constructive criticism, and that's one of my, other than being humble, it is one of my best traits.
And let me tell you something. I would not be here where I am in life if I did not listen carefully to criticism and make changes.
Yeah, for sure. That's so important,
100%.
And hey, I'm reading a funny tweet right now. This guy Ryan Kelly tweets out, true story yesterday. in the World Series event number 3. I was desperate and frustrated. I raised 4 people limping to 2,500 with Jack 4 offsuit.
Oh God,
Robbie, Jack 4. The flop comes Jack 4-4, and the turn is a 4, so he makes quads. There's a jam in front of him with pocket jacks. So Jack 4-4-4. He has quads,
wow!
And he wins the hand. He was just frustrated because he saw not many hands winning, and he made a huge triple up with Jack 4 offsuit just because of Robbie. So he tagged and said, "Thank you HCL, thank you Robbie Lou."
That's hilarious.
Only because of Robbie, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's
What
hilarious because, you're happy to make quads, but the guy literally has the top full house. Jack's full. Yeah,
all right,
that's wild.
Of course. That's what that guy gets for playing pocket.
And that's the situation where I feel like that guy should get a chance to rebuy, Sherry. That's not fun. Come on.
He did, because it wasn't the main event. So
no, correct. Yeah, but I'm happy he got a chance to go level 4. It says so. It's definitely early on. He got a chance to go rebuy.
Yeah, but not everybody could afford those rebuys, so it ruins their main event.
Which is why it shouldn't be unlimited at all. Yeah.
That's why it ruins their main events. It could ruin their main event by knowing that person's going to rebuy, and hey, I can't afford to rebuy. So leave it. Some things are just better left untouched. We can always argue we want bigger prize pools, but sometimes we should just argue the history of that tournament and what it means to so many people. And I get it. Nobody wants a bigger prize pool than me, but I also like the balance that the history of that tournament has for the peon player all the way to the most experienced player in the world. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, totally. This is the thesaurus. The thesaurus. Just sat down. Looks like what's the starting chips in the mystery million, Sherry?
Let me look. I hate to quote stuff without seeing it in front of me. Let's see, Mystery Millions starting stack of
10
40K.
a.m. right?
Is 40,000.
He knows.
Yeah, 40K.
Yeah. All right, I have a question. We're going back to a half hour ago about the kiosk. Sherry mentioned the $3 fee too. So let's say you have $1,600 in your account and you buy into a $1,500 event. So there's a $3 fee. That leaves you with $97 left. What happens then? What do you do with $97?
Okay, you have 2 choices. You can top it off for any amount, or you can, use it for, smaller buy-ins to something, or you can cash it out. But you're only allowed to top it out once, and you're only allowed to cash it out once. And if you cash it out, you're done with using that for the rest of the series.
If you cash it out, you can't put money back in, you said.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
they
so
don't.
It's not you don't have to top it off. You can withdraw. Okay.
That is important too. So you have to deposit a minimum of $2,500.
Correct.
And then you can't, like she just said, you can't take stuff out. So,
but I guess the question really becomes then, if it gets down to $97, you could top it off to like $500 and play a $500 event, and you're good. You don't have to go to $2,500 ever. Yeah.
Well, you want to top it off to 503.
Well, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Good call, Sherry. Yeah, that's gonna happen. People will do that. I guarantee.
Exactly.
Oh, I will do that many times now. But it is so it's important to not view it like it's a bank account that you can Correct. Just do things with. And the thing about that is, like, you go and you just put in, let's say you just bring 2,500, now you put that in there. Now you want to play cash games, you've got to go to the bank, or whatever. So you can't.
ATM.
You're not going to be withdrawing money from your TBIC to play cash games and all that.
Or go to your box and hope your money in your box is there for your cash game.
Yeah, just pray that nothing happens to money overnight. No, I'm just kidding.
We're joking, people.
Poor,
It's a joke. I don't want
poor,
nobody to panic over that.
these poor operators with stuff like that happening, and and they're probably not going to get to the bottom of that for a little while, if you ever do hear anything about it. Like, let's say that was kind of a government action or something that he didn't know about. Like, you're probably not going to hear a lot about it,
I think, well, first of all, I don't think it was a government action because
Probably.
they got to do paperwork. Second
Yeah.
of all, if the police have to be involved, then you'll hear about it because an arrest will be made, and that's public information. If it's something that happened internally, like a mistaken box, they let
Yeah.
somebody go into the wrong box, then it's going to be hush hush. But if somebody gets arrested, you're going to hear about it just because it's public information. And there are people in the poker world that keep their ear to that arrest log. Believe me.
Well, and as much as they might want to be quiet about it, I think it's kind of should be the opposite, in that, are you going to feel good about putting your money in there without knowing, what the resolution, what steps they took to
Right.
make sure it didn't happen again.
Well, it's one of those situations. Let's say they guarantee your money, but you can't get it right away. Like, if he needs the money today for a tournament buy-in, and he has to wait 30 days till this is resolved. Like, let's say he gets 100% of the money back. That's still a pain in the ass.
Absolutely. And he's the victim, right? And
Yeah,
his
and they're
whole
like, "Oh,
world has
sorry."
changed.
They might give him a little extra here and there, like not money, but maybe like a some buffet or I don't know, some crap. But it's still not worth the hassle.
Well,
Of course.
and even if they're like, hey, we'll give you a marker, and then you can pay off that marker once this is all resolved. Like, that doesn't leave him in a very good spot either, because now
Well,
he's
and I'm going to
playing
tell you, I
hard.
agree with you that they, need to make public the resolution. But if it's an embarrassment to them, they're never going to do that. They're never going to do it if what happened is an embarrassment.
Yeah, I just had to give I just had to give Coco a like on that tweet. Even though I try to stay away from that kind of
It was bold, very bold.
nonsense,
He was in here yesterday.
Yeah, I just love the vibe of that guy. He's just, I mean, anybody that can just be kind of calm. He must smoke a lot of weed or something. I don't know. He's just such a, he comes across as just such a positive, cool dude. Like, who wouldn't want to hang out with Coco? But I'm with it. Like, so did you guys see that Poker News? They started their own spaces last night as Poker Pro.
Yeah, I talked to him briefly, not because I wasn't wanting to. Veronica had a question about Apostle. I jumped on and helped her out.
Yeah.
I did not see that, but again, I was doing some other things in life, so
Yeah.
But good for them.
So that was good to see. They'll be ears to the ground there. But the reason why we did this is because a lot of times those people work late into the night, and last year I saw their schedule wasn't they weren't starting till much later. So that's what that is. So there was like a lack of coverage, is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
So pavement temperatures reach 100. Jamie Kerstetter sends this PSA. Pavement temperatures reach 130 degrees in Vegas at noon, despite air temperatures near 90 degrees. Dog paws can burn in 1 minute when surface temperatures reach 125 degrees. So it's best to squeeze walks in before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m. if they include concrete or asphalt. So,
Happy paws.
that's only at 90 degrees. I mean, coming up, like,
it's gonna be 100 in a couple weeks here. Yeah.
Yeah, like when we would bring our dog up here at the house that we had, I would try to not have him walk on anything with direct sunlight, and like even the patio. Like I don't really remember. I think we used to. I don't know what we did when he had to go to the restroom outside. It was not good. So
Yeah, we don't take our dogs on the asphalt or the cement here either in the South. It just gets so blazing hot. So it's grass or nothing, but I have I have some acreage, so we have plenty of space.
yeah, exactly. So hopefully Donna's going to come up with our hero there. I'm hoping for it. I'm going to.
Give me 5 minutes. I'm eating.
What'd you say?
She's
I
eating.
said, give me 5 minutes. I'm eating.
All right. If you do come up with Marcel Luske there, I'm going to go fangirl. I just got to warn you.
Oh, this is going to be epic. Oh my God, I love it so much. Love it so much.
So I'm not like everybody else. I don't hang on. Let me add Raj here.
Okay.
Raj, are you there? There you are, buddy.
Quick update. I haven't had
Update.
kings, queens, or ace queen yet. It's been about 6 or 7 orbits. So
what?
Already, I know. Yesterday, who thought you wouldn't be able to get those starts again?
Listen, that's because you're saving them for late when there's
true.
like tons of chips in the pot. So
Good point. I think yesterday I used them all too early. That was the problem. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's a bad strategy to do that, Raj.
Yeah, so we already have about 2,800 entries.
Oh my gosh.
So it's going to probably get pretty big pretty soon.
Yeah,
maybe
I gotta
4,000 if I had to guess, maybe more.
Yeah, we're still early, half hour in. My gosh, people are. I'm sure the line is still, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Crazy. So yeah, that was Raj in the millions, mystery millions. Gonna run up a stack today.
It's
Again.
Raj's day. I have a feeling it's his day.
That would be awesome.
Go, Raj, go.
If any of these people make it to the end, we got to be there. Even Donna, you got to get on a plane. You got to fly out here. Like, you got to make it happen. We got to create a rowdy rail.
Oh my God, how fun would our rail be? Our rail would be the most amazing rail ever.
For our hero.
So, love it.
Yeah, that is a big difference. Sometimes when you have, a lot of support, it feels like the cards just kind of like start flowing for that person. Like, I don't know, like it just.
It's a groove, that's for sure. It's a groove.
So yeah, the overall layout is pretty similar this year, but as far as they've kind of flipped things around, where you'll have like the World Series event over in Paris, like the day one, the big things, and they've moved the satellites and dailies over into the Bally's ballroom, and then obviously they still have the same area as they did last year for the final tables and really deep
I think I'm going to love that. And I think the key to that whole switch is that they added a cashier on the Bally side. I think that's huge.
So there was a cashier over there. They were just kind of hidden, but now they've like really added to that too. So
right.
The problem still remains, it seems like to me. I don't think that there's a place on the Bally side to.
Hang on a minute, sorry to interrupt, but I've got Marcel here.
Marcel!
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Marcel.
How you doing?
Thank you so much.
I don't know what for, but I take it as a compliment. So thank you for getting me on the phone. I hear a lot. Coming from America is great if I get so much respect from people and they still know me from going around.
You're a legend, my friend.
And we appreciate the event. The event you're hosting sounds amazing. And we
It
wish
is
we could be
actually.
part of it.
Well, we do it throughout the whole of Europe. That's the plan. So this is the first event we do. We test it, and then it's all about the experience for new starting players. So we like to do a good job and then grow into it so people understand it. The game should be fun in the first place, and then
Well,
respectful to everybody who plays with it, and then from there on grow it throughout the whole of Europe and play with international rules. So it's an even playing field for everybody, wherever you play, wherever you come from.
so if an American came over and won the European Championship, would that be okay, or would it be an
For
international
me, it
event?
would be okay because it's a open, it's a European Open Poker Championship.
Oh, all right, all
We
right.
don't exclude nobody, but you have to be 18 or older.
Oh,
But
okay.
you cannot rebuy. You have to play good.
See that, Eric?
That's
No
even better.
rebuys.
Thank you, thank you. I have to move some stuff, and I try to get maybe a shower in this place, and then redo my clothes into a suit, so I'll look presentable. So I'll leave
Well,
it
you're a
like that.
class act, my friend.
Thank you
You for
very much.
taking the time.
It's all right. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you,
All right,
Don.
guys. No worries. I told you I'd get him. As I say, I'm off now because stuff's sort of like getting a little bit more near at time.
Well,
Okay.
Okay.
Donna, thanks for bringing in our hero, Marcel Luske. Like he's just like a legend for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
Definitely.
Hey, have a
No
good
worries.
tournament.
Thank
Have a
you,
great
guys.
have a great day.
All right. Bye.
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 So they're out there at the European Open Championship. That I think next year, Sherry, like we should go out there and take it down for America.
I know that's right. I
Um,
know that's right.
so let me just recap the events today. June 2nd is the day 1C just kicked off about 40 minutes ago. Obviously, plenty of time to go buy in over there for that. But don't want to wait too long because it does, like Raj was saying, the structure, they eliminated like what thousands of people both days. So the structure does move pretty fast, especially on day one. Day one is a 30-minute levels. Day two is 40 minutes. So, stretches out a little bit. And you start with 1,000 in chips. And
No.
I'm sorry, 40. What am I
Talk about a fast tournament.
Yeah, that was really fast. It's $1,000 buy-in. 40,000 in chips, 30-minute levels on day one, 40-minute levels on day two. And Poker Pro Eric will definitely be in favor of one re-entry per flight. So I'm just teasing you, Eric.
Well, I don't know how to play, so I'm going to have to, yes.
Yeah, you need definitely. Well, you're a golfer, right? So you need some mulligans, right? Otherwise.
Yeah, I'm going to bring about 6-7 mulligans with me, correct.
Hey,
You're gonna fit in.
Before I go on, like, mulligans are in the official rules, right? Like the PGA.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
like,
PGA. That when Phil Mickelson hits one of the water, he takes a mulligan. Yeah,
he's like, yeah, give me another shot at this.
Give me another ball. Yeah,
I think they should add it in. I think
they already do. Come on.
So 10 a.m. is the Mystery Millions. Started about 40 minutes ago, and then if you're leaving from anywhere other than the Paris or Horseshoe, you probably got about an hour drive. So head on.
You think
up.
it's an hour drive from Circus?
Yes.
It's an hour. Actually,
yes.
it took us an hour from New York to get to the Horseshoe the other day. It was like completely absurd. Yeah. So so 10 a.m. is that. Coming up at 12 is the 25K heads up. No limit hold'em heads up. $25,000 buy-in. 150,000 starting chips, 20-minute levels, and then you play one match. Looks like one match per day.
The funny thing about that, Brian, is Last night I was playing the satellite, the 135, and the heads-up satellite was like 2,700, and it had the Kevin Rabichow, who I think won last year. So imagine trying to play a satellite to get into the 25K, and you've got to go against the reigning 25K champion. So.
Champion, yeah. I'm thinking like that's not so fun. But think
Doug
about
Polk's
what a great.
coming in, I think.
Oh, is he going to play? Wow, that was my actual joke, right? Like if they don't get the right numbers, and you have some people that get buys, and you have some people that have to play someone that's going to have to play Doug Polk. So like you're just like really, just a really interesting event actually. So I did see that satellite running last night. I think they awarded one seat. Was it, Raj?
No, it was just 20,000 cash, I think.
Oh, okay.
They only had
Could
8
not
people. So
quite
I don't
get
think.
to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh darn! Only 20 grand.
Yeah, that's just too bad.
Horrible.
Although how would you feel about that heads up match, Sherry? You're like 20 grand or zero.
Well, exactly. I'm not complaining. I'll take the 20 grand.
I think you at least got to make a deal for your buy-in back or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think there has. Yeah, I agree.
So so that kicks off at noon. 64 players max. That's not something that you can be late for, by the way. So if you're going to get in that, you got an hour and 15 minutes. So 2 p.m. is the 7-card stud, $1,500 buy-in, 25,000 in chips. 40-minute levels on day 1, and then 60-minute levels on day 2 and forward. And they're going to play 9 levels. That one will be without a dinner break, which again I think is the right call for the later events.
Yeah, for sure.
To just do regular breaks instead of and get out 60 minutes earlier, an hour earlier or so. So that's good. As we mentioned earlier, tons of other things to do, other things to play. Obviously cash, but then satellites, tournaments all over town. If you get one of these spreadsheets that they have all the different tournaments in town.
And I'm going to interrupt you for a minute and say that earlier when we were speaking about this, ASG actually put that in our chat. So that spreadsheet, one of the spreadsheets is in the chat of this space. So anybody can get it there.
Oh, okay. That's great. Yeah. And that one's built in Tableau. So that will be, I'll pin that to the top there.
Perfect.
So yeah. I may actually use that one because Tableau is kind of interesting to be able to break things down and stuff like that. So somebody built one in that.
I just dump it into Excel and I move stuff around and I delete stuff I know I'm not going to need, and I just kind of create my own out of it. So
check out this one that he posted. I haven't looked at it yet, obviously, but these will let you do kind of a similar thing with the addition of some graphic like dashboard-ish kind of things and built into it. It's really nice tool.
I've actually used Kim. That's Kim Unger's spreadsheet. I've actually used it before.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I haven't used it yet, but these things,
it's excellent for sure.
Any of these things that are built in Tableau are usually, I mean, it depends on who built them, but they have a lot of capability in that tool.
Yeah, they're a great tool.
So, the basic thing is, like we had the other person asked the other day, I'm flying in at this time. Is there anything to do? The answer is yes. Like all day long, every day. If you like Omaha or you like, just a no limit hold'em tournament or a satellite or whatever, there's always something to do. From 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, there's tournaments kicking off for different satellites, whatever it may be.
What's at 9 a.m.? The satellites?
They had, let me see here. I had that up just
I didn't know there was 9 a.m. tournaments.
9 a.m. the horseshoe. So, and this one this one was the one that maybe does or doesn't exist. Somebody asked earlier,
right,
if the daily events at the Horseshoe are still running. I don't know, but they typically would have, and it's on this list, a 9 a.m. No limit hold'em $100 buy-in tournament. So
yeah, I would definitely make a call to that poker room and verify that. Just because there's a
yeah,
lot of data, so
yeah,
I would just verify it before I bank on it.
yeah. Sounds good. All right, guys. Does anybody have anything else? Any other questions?
I'm good if you're good.
How are these prices at the World Series Cafe this year?
They're terrible. Sherry was just reading like a thing, so
They're charging a
yeah.
service charge, which is ridiculous.
Really? What service are they giving you?
Well, I haven't been there yet, so I can't tell you how the service has been. But there's some kind of service charge, and when they charge the service charge, they're also charging it on the tax you're paying. So this a friend of mine bought a $12.67 a mushroom burger, and it ended up with all the taxes and surcharge and gratuity to be $17.
Yeah,
That's
extra
crazy.
$5 on top then.
Yeah, $5, and he said what, $5?
Yeah, so I guess I'm happy that I kind of accidentally, not accidentally, just I booked my room next week at the Horseshoe itself, and that was more out of convenience, a lot because of the traffic. You said I don't want to have to Uber from anywhere else, because even if I don't have my own car, what's the point of Ubering from Circus or Resorts World down the strip if I can't get there? So I'll just go to my room and do what Sean Deeb does and eat a cheap sandwich in my room then, because I mean the cafe could add up. It sounds like.
I'm going to be real honest with you. I just order room service for breakfast.
Yeah.
And I
And stock up for the
typically,
day, kind of like be full.
yeah, maybe get like something I could take with me in my backpack. I have one secret I'm not going to share because I don't want it to not be there when I go, but
There
and
you go.
because it's on short supply anyway. But I have just found I like a good big breakfast, so I just order breakfast in my room, and I tack something else on that I can take with me. That if for no other reason, it just holds me over until I can get a good meal somewhere. So yeah, you got to plan for it though, because there's not a lot of good
Yeah, I feel
options.
weird. It reminds me of the sports games. They already have you trapped. I feel like the cafe should be like a convenience to the players, thanking them for coming, as opposed to a way to take more money from them. I don't know.
Yeah, and like I was alluding to earlier, they did away with all American Dave. Well,
Yeah,
you needed to replace him with something just as good of a service and food, right?
Yeah, and I'll say no. I'm not trying to throw those people shade over there that are working hard in that cafe, but we walked through there the other night, and the food did not look good to me. Like
It's
it looked like this food that had been sitting in a gas station, little buffet thing.
again, I'm not even against that, Brian. The problem is the prices. If you're
Well,
gonna
that too.
charge that, it's better be better food.
Yeah, I mean that's true too, but like, it's not food that I would eat anyway.
Yeah, but if I go to the gas station, I know I'm getting something cheap and shitty. That's fine, it's cheap, so I can't complain. But if you're going to charge you $17 for this mushroom burger, it better look better than garbage.
It's not Alan Kessler approved. I'm sure
Exactly.
I'm sure that he would not even
or TJ
comps.
approves.
Yeah, he would not even use his comps to do that.
right.
But,
Yeah, so
yeah,
I'll probably
It
just
just
end up
is
eating in the room
tricky.
then.
This move to Horseshoe in Paris has made the whole food options tricky because at least at the Rio, you could order Uber Eats, walk outside the back door, and grab the Uber Eats without a big deal either.
Yeah.
And that's not really a good option at the Horseshoe. And now with the traffic jam, it certainly isn't a good option.
yeah, it's a nightmare. I
You know,
will say that I had that Mediterranean place out front. My daughter brought me some of that. The mall out front of the Horseshoe there. That was pretty decent. And I think the pizza that she got would have been pretty good, but she got like onions and bell peppers in it, and I don't. I love those things, but I don't like them in pizza so much. So
Right. Well, and I don't know what restaurants are still over there. Is the Wahlberg still there? They make a great hamburger if you want to spend $25 on a hamburger. But, whatever places are in that little mall area, even if they would deliver it to the valet section of Horseshoe for you, so you could just run over there, walk outside the door, and they hand you your bag of food and you go back in and they go back to their little restaurant. That would be even a great service. But, how are you going to walk over there, order the food, wait for the order, or even if you do it, online to pick it up? If you're only on 15-minute breaks without a dinner break, I don't think you can get there and back and eat in 15 minutes.
yeah, I didn't catch that one part of that. Did you say that there is an app or something where you can order on the app?
I'm just talking about like for any of those individual restaurants out there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know for sure all of what restaurants, but I remembered last year, like I ordered from Bobby's Burgers that, again, I don't know. As a person that owns a restaurant, I don't like when people like complain publicly about, the food,
right.
And here I am now on my second place, like, but that being said, my burger was raw.
No.
Got it. I probably got an unlucky one. Who knows? But
right.
But it ruined my experience for that place. So and I don't mind a medium burger, even though.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and hopefully, this is only year 2 at this location, and so hopefully they're going to continue to work on it and improve it, and hopefully that's going to be one of the areas that they improve for us, right?
Yep.
So,
all right, guys, I got to run. We got to.
Okay.
We got to. They're kicking us out of the Circus RV park. I guess checkout time was supposed to be 10 a.m. Space number 21. They got somebody coming in here. Eric, did I tell you we're right?
Well, then, hold on. Where are you going to?
I know.
I'm actually not sure.
Oh, guys, homeless, right?
Yeah. Well, we're so I never am so planned out like for the World Series. Like, we may go home today for a couple days. We may stay through the weekend. I'm not really crazy about the Mystery Millions thing, so
right.
That's why it really kind of opens up that possibility. But like I've been saying all morning, like there's tons of tournaments to play, so
and those deep stacks are good value.
Yeah,
the 250.
Yeah, and the 400 too.
I don't know if your friends and family are like this, but they know, my friends and family know that like once June comes, you may see Brian, you may not. Like,
right.
So yeah. So
good luck.
We may get to go home for a couple days and pet the puppies and then come back probably on Sunday, or we may stick around. So we'll see. We just got to figure that out today. We'll see.
All right, bud. Well, good luck, and whatever you're going to do today, safe travels if you're going to travel home.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, have a great day. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. We try to kick this off at 9 a.m. Pacific if we can. And it seems like something that we'll be able to keep up going.
I hate you all.
That kind of thing.
You love us.
You love to wake up and be like, let's go. Just don't be like my brother and call me my first main event at 7 a.m. to wish me good luck.
He should still be banished for 10 years, in my opinion. Have a good day, everybody.
All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.